Hello and welcome to the next Lukozer retro game review video. There's a good reason why I'm starting it on this screen. Yes, this is Starglider for Commodore Amiga. The Amiga version was released in 1987 by Rainbird, but the game was initially released on the Atari ST back in 1986. So this was one of the first sort of big titles for 16-bit computers. Now, the reason I started it there so you could hear that music, that particular piece of music you heard is the main title page music on the Atari ST version. The Amiga version, though, you hear it that one time and that is it. The rest of the game, the music isn't quite the same. Anyway, let's quickly change the disc. It not only suggests that you don't use the actual original disc, it forces you to. If you keep the original disc in, the game won't work. That's nice of them. Right, so the new disc is in. Check this music out. Great, eh? And just to really rub in how bad this music is, on that previous sort of info page while the game was loading, it points out that this music was developed on a 48K Spectrum. That was nice of them. Could have, kept the Atari ST music. No, they'll develop some new music on a fucking Spectrum 48K and use that for the Amiga version. Cheers, guys. Now, like Overkill, this is one of those games where initially I was having a lot of problems with the display. It was all to one side and also cut off at the top, but I finally got that fixed. So now there should be no more problems with games doing that. Even Overkill itself displays properly. I'm not going to redo it, I'm just letting you know that it's been sorted out. Anyway, let's get the game underway. And let's hope that I can explain what I'm doing. Actually, what I will do is I'll just play the game at first, give you an idea of what it looks like. And then later on, I'll try and explain what I'm doing. There we go, got the cunt. Now, actually, what I want to do is head back the way I came, because something in particular that I want to find. There's nothing around here though. Taking a lot of fucking hits. Getting the wrong fucking thing there. A lot of missiles being fired at me. As you can hear, the game is largely played in silence. That again is an issue that also affects the Atari ST version. So that's not, crappy Amiga conversions. That's what I was looking for. That is an area where I can dock, which I am rather keen to do. There we go. And we'll get some more speech in a moment. There we go. Right, so while we are here, I'll tell you what I'll do. Yeah. So with this page here, I can talk you through the display panel here. So obviously you've got the score here. This is like your compass heading, that you know which direction you're going. I can't remember off the top of my head what that is. So there is quite a plethora of information here, but a lot of it isn't really that vital. But we'll go through the important ones. So this bar here is your forward shield. That is your rear shield. This is your altimeter. This is how many missiles you have ready for use. So currently 2 is the maximum you can have. So this is obviously the radar. These 2 bars here, I think, are like indicating your movement along the vertical and horizontal. This is your energy meter. This would be your speed, like basically your speedo if you are running. Now these sort of wavy bars here, I know they do mean something, but I can't remember what. So anyway, that's sort of a look at what the yeah, that's what the panel is basically telling us. So anyway, we have docked. When you dock here, you replenish your 4.5 shields, and you can get another missile if you have room. So you know, if I dock again, I won't get any more because that 2 there is the most I can carry. But it doesn't replenish your energy. You have to do something else to replenish that. So let's launch again. So we are back out. Now the actual idea of the game is, well, it is a shoot 'em up. You know, if you destroy enemy like ground bases, as well as also any air-based enemies. So there we go. Right, I'm going to be taking a few hits here. Actually, no, I'm doing alright. I'm able to destroy the missiles before they hit me, and then hopefully I can actually destroy the missile launcher itself. I'm getting closer and closer to it. I took a hit there, and now I'm taking a fucking shitload of them. All these fucking hits, and I'm not really doing very much. Fuck it, let's get away from that fucking thing. There are various, this yellow thing here is a mine. If you fly too close to it, you will set it off. There you go. There are 2 types of mine. This thing here is a walker that will place ground-based missile turrets. I don't know why I'm shooting at it, because it's impervious to laser blasts. You have to use a missile to destroy it. This is one of the main they're Egrons or Ergons or something like that, the enemies. You can take this fucker out, you score pretty well. Once you've amassed enough points, as well as taking out a particular enemy, you will then... Oh, bollocks. I'm not doing too well here. I've got to dock again. And I've also got to recharge my energy, which I can do here. Anyway, yes, once you've amassed enough points and taken out the enemy Starglider itself, you are then able to move on to level 2. I want to destroy this fucking missile launcher. There's another missile launcher around. Now another fucking enemy ship. It's just piling in fucking missiles at me. But this here is where you can recharge your energy. What you have to do is you've got to position yourself between the pillars and follow that energy beam. It's not as easy as it sounds. There we go. So, well, I then came off the bloody rail, so I barely did anything. As it is, my fore and aft shields are so low, I've got to dock again. I've got to get them sorted out. There's the dock. See if I can get in there when it turns around again. There we go. Well, it's done the fore shield, and now the aft shield is getting sorted out. There we go. Right, so we'll launch again. I really need my energy fixing up. Thankfully, the enemy missiles only take one hit. Most other objects take multiple hits. This thing is another missile launcher, so again, if I can take this out, there we go. There's another main enemy ship. It's not the main enemy ship though. The main enemy vessel looks, well, it has the same design, but it's not that turquoise or cyan colour, it's orange. If you see that, you really do want to take it out. Trouble is, it's impervious to regular shots. You have to take it out with a missile, and it is forever sending out this stream of missiles from the back. So yeah, trying to actually destroy it is a lot easier said than done. I've desperately got to recharge my energy levels. There we go. Come on, stay on the rail. Okay, that'll do. That's right. Now, obviously, you know, the first thing people point out now is that it's vector graphics, but they're wireframe. They're not filled. No, I don't know why. I can only assume the age has something to do with it. As I say, this game, well, the Atari ST version was released in '86, so it is a very early 16-bit game. It's probably, if it's not one of, it must be surely the first sort of like major 16-bit title. It's another enemy down. Where the fucking hell is the actual Starglider? And the area that I'm flying around on this first level is fairly small, but yeah, the Starglider himself does sort of have a habit of staying hidden for quite a while, and then the next time you play it, he'll show up more or less instantaneously, which is a bit annoying. There is, as much as I hate to say it, a bit of a random nature of it, but there he is. Right, now let's he's taking us straight for this fucking mine, and the mine has just exploded. Where's he gone? Over there. We'll get a bit closer. Now going at full tilt. Right, let's launch the missile. But it's going straight to a fucking mine. So with that countdown, that's how long the mine has to go, or the missile has to go. he's firing his own missiles. Oh, I think it was hit. I think he shot it at fucking point blank range with his own missile there. What a cunt. Right, there he is again. Taking a lot of hits here. I've only got one missile left. I will have to break off and dock again if this one does not work.
Missile launch.
Okay, let's see what happens. Oh, the fucking mine took it out. Alright, where's the dock? I've got to dock again because, well, I'm taking a lot of damage. I'm also very low on energy. The missiles that hit you obviously damage your shield, but those other shots that, you know, those red lines which sort of make the screen flash, that reduces your energy levels. So, right, shields are back up. I've got one missile, so we'll launch again. Now I really do need to I've got to get my energy levels back up. They are very low. So another enemy ship here. Yeah, see, energy's low. There's another enemy ship destroyed, but I cannot take too many more hits. And the thing is, avoiding those energy bolts is extremely difficult. There's the dock again, but it's the energy charging that I need to find. Now if you fire, that also uses energy, so I can't just keep firing away. And there you go, the power drainage has destroyed me. There is no actual view of your vessel exploding. It just goes straight to this game over screen. Right, let's try that again. Pilot rating rookie. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So another go, and let's get the review underway. Right. So this is actually the first time, this is actually the second time I have reviewed this game. The first time, and this is going to be a very familiar story. It was well over a year ago. In fact, it's probably going on for 2 years ago. But yeah, I recorded it and it went pretty well, but Shadowplay completely fucked up and it didn't record any of it at all. So it royally fucked me off, and because of that I didn't bother playing the game again for a while. But I mean, it is one of those titles that I do think needs to be covered. You know, I can't do Amiga games and never mention Starglider. This was the very first 16-bit game I played. There it is. There is the Starglider. Right, I've got one missile.
Missile launch.
And he's firing missiles straight away. Fucking hell. I'm amazed that I managed to avoid them. I've got to get to him for that countdown. That countdown is how much fuel I have in my missile. And he fucking fired again, so that I couldn't reach him. Now I've got a dock. I've got to get some more missiles. So, I mean, yeah, when I first saw it, I was blown away by it, largely though because of the impressive title music. This was a fucking, you know, video game where the title music was singing at you. I'd never, in fact, nobody who only had like 8-bit home computers had ever heard that before in any game. So yeah, that was extremely impressive. And that was the moment when I thought, right, I really want a 16-bit computer. And at first I really wanted to get the Atari ST. I was then convinced that the Amiga was the better computer to get, which turned out to be by far the smartest move.
Docking complete.
So we ended up getting an Amiga.
Docking complete.
Alright, we're all set. But I didn't get this game then for quite a while afterwards. Firstly, because I could never find it. When I did finally find it, it was at some computer fair at in London at Earl's Court. And when I got it, it was actually in a compilation. It was this Gold Runner, and I can't remember what the other game was. I know it was one that wasn't much cop. It might have even been, no, it wasn't Crazy Cars. That was in a different compilation. As I just quickly recharge my energy cells. That'll do. Let's see if we can find that fucking Starglider again. I'm determined to fucking take that cunt out. We'll get big points for taking out these two fuckers. So, yeah, I finally got it on that compilation, and it was fucked. It worked fine until you docked, and then once you docked, the game would just completely lock up. And of course, because I bought it at a computer fair, I had no fucking chance of getting, you know, being able to take it back and get either another copy or a refund or nothing. So yeah, I was stuck with this bollocksed up version, and I was quite fucked off about it. As it is, there's that fucking Starglider again. Getting close.
Missile launch.
I bet he fucking fires. Yeah, he's firing his stream of missiles already. Yeah, as it is, when I played it, I was rather disappointed by it, because the audio got the fucker. I'm sure I fucking hit it. But my points would suggest not. Yeah, when I got it, the audio in particular is terrible. Not just the music on the title page, but the in-game audio is nowhere near as good as the Atari ST version. Graphically, it's identical. No surprise there. But, yeah, it was rather a disappointment. I take no pleasure in saying that the Atari ST version was the better version, but that is the truth.
Docking complete.
Get out, but really I want to actually go back again and get the second missile. Hang on. There's another. So anyway, there we go. Right, we'll grab the second missile. launched straight away. Now I could also do with recharging my fuel, my energy cells, and then with that done, I should be in pretty good condition for really going after all of these enemy cunts here. It looks like I did actually destroy the Starglider, but I haven't got enough points yet to get off the level. There we go. Let's try and keep this recharge going. It's going quite well. Right, okay, let's get off and that was quite handy that actually. I was still recharging even though I'd gone quite some way from the actual recharging pylons. So let's get on with the review. The presentation is not that fantastic to be honest, but then, you know, 1986 when the game was first written, even if we go and say yes, okay, 87 for the Amiga version here, it was really still following the sort of template of 8-bit games as far as the presentation goes. So yeah, it's not the sort of standard that you expect from a 16-bit computer. Can't really criticise it too heavily for that because, well, say 16-bit computing was brand new. There really weren't too many templates for this game or any other 16-bit game to follow. In terms of graphics, well, the graphics were fine. I mean, you know, again, very early we were all used to 8-bit computers, and 8-bit computers were not going to be rendering this many, you know, 3D vector graphics on screen at, you know, at one time, and render them this quickly. So yeah, the graphics, despite still being wireframe, were considered pretty good. Yes, okay, they are dated now, but I think you'd be doing the game a great injustice and a great disservice by calling the graphics shit. The audio is not that good, I must admit, even for the time. So it certainly doesn't help that the Atari ST version does sound pretty good. In fact, the audio in the Atari ST version is great. And when you consider that the Atari ST audio was by far its weakest point. Another Starglider here. Right, let's see if we can take out this cunt. Yeah, I mean, Atari ST audio was pretty terrible. So, oh, he's fucking gonna send us towards that mine. Okay, I think I've dodged the mine, but do I have enough fuel to keep going? Gotcha, you cunt. There we go. Right, so we're on to level 2 now. First thing I want to do is get another missile. And also I've noticed my rear shields are in a dreadful state. I've got to recharge them. So yeah, we've got to get into this silo, this docking bay. So yeah, the audio is definitely the weakest area of the game. And in terms of gameplay, despite looking like it's an extremely complicated game and very complex, it is actually very simple. That's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, thinking about it, it's not at all a bad thing. It means that you can jump straight in, and well, I do really think that one of the main purposes of this game was to show off to friends who still had 8-bit computers, you know, and yeah, show off to them that you have a game that looked like this. And in that regard, yes, it does what it set out to do. Let's take out this fucking walker here.
Missile launch.
Oh, I fucking missed it. Right. Have I got enough fuel to turn around and go back after it again? No, I keep fucking missing the thing. That was a waste of a missile. So yeah, I mean, gameplay wise, it's essentially just a shoot 'em up. It's just that it's a shoot 'em up that does look rather fancy. Now there was a sequel to this, which was imaginatively called Starglider 2. Personally, I cannot stand it, but it is considered a bit of a classic among some people. Fuck knows why. I dare say I will cover it at some point.
Missile launch.
Fucking hell, that missile didn't last seconds. It's all these other fucking missiles that I've got coming towards me. I've just noticed my front shield is down. There you go. Because I was already firing, I didn't get the game over screen. It went straight to this. Fuck's sake. So, yeah, I dare say I will cover Starglider 2 at some point, but, well, there you go. That is Starglider then from Rainbird. It's okay, but it's not going to keep bringing you back for more. I think it's got its sort of classic status more because of when it was released. The fact that this game first appeared in 1986. So you think about it, this game came out around the same time as Whizball. Now okay, Whizball's a great game, so let's try another way. This game came out a year before Karnov. You know, so yeah. And even this Amiga version, this came out the same year as Karnov. So while some people considered Karnov worthy of release, other people were creating this. So in that regard, yes, Starglider certainly does deserve its reputation. Or, you know, its reputation as a classic game. But it hasn't dated or hasn't aged very well. But if you are a fan of, you know, the Amiga, in fact, where this game's concerned, if you're a fan of the Atari ST, it applies even more so. It's definitely worth checking out if you've never played it before, because this was really the game that sort of propelled the 16-bit computers into the limelight, and suddenly everybody was sitting up and taking notice. So yeah, it definitely has that in its favour. So I will score it 6.5 out of 10. It's not shit. It's not even like, you know, a bad game. It is pretty good, but it's not going to keep you coming back. It's aged about as well as my hairline. So that is then Starglider for the Commodore Amiga. 6.5 out of 10. That brings this review to an end, and we'll see you at the next one.